Back with DraftKings contributors Matt LaMarca and Kenny Ducey, along with Rotowire's Nick Whalen. Guys, do you agree or disagree with the following sportsbook bets on tonight's NBA slate? So, largest spread tonight is the Kings and the Suns. Phoenix favored by 13. The Kings have dropped 8 straight games. Sacramento has failed to cover in 5 straight while going 1-7 against the spread during their 8-game skid. So, chase or fade here that Phoenix covers the spread, Matt?
I'm going to chase it, and I almost never take a double-digit favorite. It's hard to win by that much in the NBA, but this Sacramento team without Rashawn Holmes is bad, really bad. Their net rating has decreased by 9.4 points per 100 possessions without Rashawn Holmes on the floor this season. And it's not that good to begin with, their net rating. So they've been outscored by nearly 10 points per 100 possessions without Holmes this season. They lost by 12 points at home last night to a Washington Wizards team that also isn't very good. And now they have to go on the road on a back-to-back against the Phoenix Suns, who are one of the best teams in the league. I think Phoenix wins by more than 13 points.
All right. Where are we going to go here? Are you going to chase or fade this, Kenny?
Oh, I'm chasing. I don't think I'm not a big fan of it's double digits, so I'm not going to take it. That's not a rule that makes any sense. I think I'm chasing this here. Look, the Matt hit the nail on the head here about the Kings. They're very bad. But the thing that's particularly concerning to me about the Sacramento Kings right now is at least when they were playing bad defense all season long, at least they were scoring. At least Buddy Hield was hitting threes, and Fox was making things happen inside. They are terrible on offense right now. They're second to last in offensive efficiency over their 8-game losing streak. So the things that have plagued them all season long are not the same things plaguing them right now. They've not only played bad defense, now they're playing bad offense. They just can't do anything. And this team is 9-13 against the spread after a loss this year, 12-32 against the spread in general. Never a good idea to take them after a loss. They have compounded these mistakes really badly. And again, just the Phoenix Suns, I don't think they don't care right now. They don't need to care, but I just think that a 65% effort from the Suns still results in a 16-point win. So I think that this should be a 17-point spread to me.
All right, Nick, the Kings have lost 4 of the past 5 by at least 10 points. So the double digits, they don't scare you?
Not at all. I mean, with all due respect to Count Blocula, Hassan Whiteside, the Kings are not afraid to lose to anyone, anywhere, anytime. They've proven that over and over. I just feel bad for De'Aaron Fox, who's really been their only consistent piece this season. I guess Tyrese Halliburton, to some degree, although he's slowed down a little bit over these last few weeks. I mean, Phoenix has the best against the spread record in the league. They cover at about a 65% rate. Sacramento, bottom 5, they cover at about 42%. I mean, unless we get a situation where Phoenix is just really not interested in playing this game, or somehow just takes Sacramento way too lightly and has to turn it on late, and maybe they pull it out in the 4th, I think this is a game that's probably over midway through the 3rd.
All right, lowest spread on the slate is the Celtics favored by 6 over the Lakers. Kenny, chase or fade that the Lakers keep it close?
I'm chasing, man. Look, everyone's back. The whole squad's back, except for, the biggest members of the squad. Morris is back in the lineup now, or he should be anyway. He's probable for this game. And look, against the Hornets, I know that this team, doesn't score as well without LaMelo Ball, but they still allowed 93 points to the Hornets. Their defense looked pretty good. Kyle Kuzma had 24 points in that game. Kyle Kuzma does not have a top shot moment right now, folks. Kyle Kuzma's out there every night giving it 120%. Just striving for a top shot moment. One day he will get it if maybe he continues to score 24 points a game. You're getting a super motivated Kyle Kuzma right now. All jokes aside, you're getting a great Lakers effort. They're trying to keep pace here in this playoff hunt. They do not want to fall into this play-in tournament. I think the defense has looked really good, and Gasol being back is huge. So I think that they can cover this spread.
All right, what do you think, Nick? Can the Lakers keep this one close? They're 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games.
I think they could keep it close for most of the game. I mean, 6 is just such a difficult number. I do think Boston probably covers it. The Lakers have been a lot more competitive than I thought they would. Those first few games without LeBron, were appalling. We're like, they're struggling just to get to like 95 points against mediocre teams. But like Kenny said, I mean, the defense hasn't only been very good without LeBron and Davis. It has been tied for the best defensive rating in the league since LeBron went down. Over the last 10 games, they're number one in sole possession. So even though the offense is kind of a mess still, without those top two guys, we see this year after year with LeBron teams. Whenever LeBron sits out, nobody knows what to do because you're so reliant on LeBron to create great shots for everyone that when you take that away suddenly, everyone just kind of panics. And the Lakers have been able to figure it out. They've been able to beat the teams that they should beat, which is essentially all you can ask during a stretch when you're playing without LeBron and without Anthony Davis. The problem is I don't know that the Celtics fall into that category. I think Boston is probably just a little too talented that at the end of the day, even if Kuzma and Morris and Schroeder are all playing through these injuries, I think Boston just has a little too much and probably covers this number.
Matt, you riding with the Celtics? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna back Kenny here. Me and Kenny, we're riding the Top Shot narrative. I like
That's
the
right.
Lakers here. You look at Boston; they are on a little streak here. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, but you dive into it, none of those wins are particularly impressive. They beat the Rockets, who are dreadful. They've lost 20 in a row at one stretch this year. They beat a really shorthanded Hornets team. They beat the Knicks by 2. They beat the Timberwolves. They beat the Blazers by 1. And then their only impressive win was against the Nuggets, and that game was without Jamal Murray. So I don't think the Celtics team is good. I really don't. It's disappointing. I want them to be good. You look at the players and you think they should be good, but they're not good. How's that for some analysis? I think this Lakers team, as these guys have alluded to, they've been playing okay without their 2 stars. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Andre Drummond has been like a nice addition for them. I kind of thought Andre Drummond was done at this point, but he's been a decent little find for them at center. I think that the Lakers can actually win this game.
All right, guys, Bucks and Hawks, they got a game total set at 230.5. Chase or fade that this one goes over, Nick?
I think it goes over, but just barely. Obviously, we have some pretty big variance here with Giannis and Trae Young being in the balance. But yeah, even without Giannis, Milwaukee has scored really well over these last few games. They put up 130 just the other day against Minnesota. Obviously, a lot of those games have come against very poor opponents where you're able to get away with playing Thanasis Antetokounmpo like 25 minutes and being just fine. But if Giannis comes back, that obviously adds a ton of punch for Milwaukee offensively. Like I said, the scoring numbers have been good, but without Giannis, the efficiency has not been great. I mean, Milwaukee with Giannis in the lineup the last few years has basically just been like guaranteed to be a top 5, if not top 2 offense. And they've kind of regressed more toward the middle of the pack in terms of efficiency. So if he comes back, I really like the over here. The Hawks have scored 108 and 105 in the last 2 games without Trae Young. Those came against Toronto and Charlotte. Not great teams that are dealing with a ton of injuries. So that's not super encouraging. To me, this is a stay away. If Giannis and or Trae Young play, then I like the over.
All right, Matt, 7 of the Hawks' last 11 games have gone over. What do you think? 230.5.
Yeah, to me, the Trae Young injury is the most important one here,
right?
Because Trae Young is an over-better's dream. The Hawks averaged 10.5 additional points per 100 possessions with Young on the floor, and they also allow more points on the defensive end. So he is a great combination for people who want to see high-scoring games. If he's in, then I have no problem taking the over. If he's out, I think that the Hawks are going to struggle once again, so I would lean towards the under in that regard. I will say for Giannis, his impact, while it's elite all over the court, it's probably at its best on the defensive end. Giannis is one of the most impactful defenders in the league, so even if you think maybe the Bucks score a few additional points with Giannis back in the lineup if he returns, I think that they would also allow a few additional, or a few fewer, allow fewer points on defense in that situation. So to me, that's kind of a wash. It's all about what's up with Trae Young.
Well, Kenny, Milwaukee has the second highest over percentage in the league. What do you think? Does this one go over 230.5?
Yeah, it's because they're third in pace, and they're third in pace over the last 10 games. This team, top 5 in transition possessions. They love to get out in transition. A lot of that is because you have a guy that can take 3 steps from half court in Giannis Antetokounmpo. So there is a lot of injury concern here. I will echo what the guys are saying. If Trae Young plays in this game, though, I have no problem here taking the over. I don't know. It's actually Matt understated Trae Young's impact. 12.1 points per 100 possession is what he adds on offense. It's just insane how much different they are when he's on the floor scoring the basketball. So the other thing here is that Danilo Gallinari is also questionable. That cannot go not said or unsaid, whatever the word is here, because he adds something on offense as well. Both those guys, I think their inclusion here pushes me to take the over. But if they don't play, I'm honestly not too keen on taking it just because Milwaukee can score, but what can the Hawks do on offense against this good defense without those two? I'm just not sure. So I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach. But if Trae Young's in, I think I'm firing it up.
All right, real quick, slate-approved pick. What is your favorite bet on the DK Sportsbook for tonight's 4-game NBA slate? Matt, where are you going?
Phoenix Suns.
Okay. Kenny.
Yeah, I'm taking the Suns. Not too many points for me. Again, the fact that the Kings cannot score is just terrifying. So, yeah, they're going to win by a lot.
Nick.
Give me the under in that Warriors-Cavs game. I think it's at 224 right now. These teams are combined 17-7 in favor of the under on the second half of back-to-backs. Literally the 2 worst teams in that category on the second half of those back-to-backs.